What's going on there, friends and neighbors? I am Rob Reviews, and today I am taking a look at the SH MonsterArts Shin-Godzilla reissue figure. But right now, it's just the box. As you can see, we have Shin-Godzilla, Japanese. This is the open window part of the box. This box is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Here's the side. It says SH MonsterArts Godzilla 2016. Bring it over to the back. Really nice, crisp image of Shin-Goji right there, looking really creepy and a lot better than he does in real life. Here's the other side with some shots of the figure. He doesn't look anything like that. And here we are back to the front of the box. And here we are looking at the main man of the hour himself. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. This guy is, You know what? Before I say anything else, let's just get into paint and detail, because there is a lot to talk about. A whole lot to talk about.
Oh, Godzilla, from afar, you look so beautiful, so perfect, so beautifully painted. And then we get closer and we see that there's more behind the sheets. So starting over here at the neck, you can see that there is an imbalance of red and black kind of transmutating into a very dark poopy brown. And amongst certain parts, especially around the shoulder area, you can see that, yeah, there is some spots that went unpainted and they are terribly, terribly obvious. Moving on to the other side of the neck, we can see that there's a little bit more of a balance between the black and the red, but it seems like the black is much more prominent than the red, unfortunately. Back over to the shoulders, we can see that there is some good detail there, and it looks like most of the red found its place. Moving down a little bit more, you can actually see some pretty decently painted parts with all the red in the grooves and such. But getting over to Shin-Goji's forearm, you can see a little bit more of that black, brownish red mixture there. You can even see some very spotty red paint there as well. Moving on to the other side of Shin-Goji's forearm, we can see that there's still that odd mixture of red and black turning brown. And moving on to Shin-Goji's palms, we can see that the red paint is quite spotty and you can spot a little seam there. Moving on to the right hand over here, we can see that there is definitely still some more bleed through when it comes to the red and the white, which was a problem that I was hoping would be rectified, but clearly not. On the top side of Shin-Goji's hand, we do see those gnarly knuckles being filled out with some more red paint. Good detail, but as for the paint, it's okay? I don't know. Moving over to Shin-Goji's chest, we can see that the red paint applications were applied much better over here, but still not perfect. If you look over here, you can see that some of it is actually on the scarring, and if you look over here, you can see that there is some paint chipping. Now, I don't know if I like these streaks of red over here. Like, I feel like it looks good, but at the same time, it kind of feels like they just didn't bother painting it there. I'm 50-50 on that. Moving on to the other arm, we can see that the red paint bleed through is alive and well. How unfortunate. Same goes for the forearm area and the shoulder area. It just looks like a mixed mess. Ironically enough, the top of this hand isn't covered in spotty red, but it's more so the tips of his fingers that are covered in a spotty red. It's weird, with this figure, it does so much right and it does so much wrong at the same time. Moving down to Shin-Goji's lower torso, we can see not much going on in the crotch region. Now the red is there, it's just really hard to see. Not just from the glossiness of the figure, just in general. But I do feel the red is much more prominent in the kneecaps than on the thighs. See what I mean? You can see red on his inner upper thigh, but you can see more of the red in the kneecap, into the shin, into the ankle areas. Looking at the foot right here, we can see that the toenails were painted much better this time around, but some of the extra toenails were left unpainted. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but And here's the bottom of his foot. TM and Toho Co. Limited 2348291 B China. Looks like Godzilla was stepping on a lot of mustard or some kind of spice or something. Then looking at Shin-Goji's other leg, the same problem. The upper thigh, you can see a little bit of red, but it's much more prominent on the kneecap and the shin and ankle and foot area. I know I might sound like a broken record, but look at it. Taking a closer look at the kneecap and the foot area on this, like I said, you can see that red. It looks great, kinda. Despite the paint, there is a lot of really great detail on this guy. And here's a close-up of Shin-Goji's foot. Toenail paint on point. Some of the extra toenails obviously not painted, and we got some nice red in between the toes. And here's the bottom of his other foot. Moving back up on the figure, we can see some red splotches of paint that looks like whoever was painting this was giving it the good old college try and then just kinda tapered off and didn't give a rat's ass. Moving up towards the dorsal plates, we can see that there's amazing amounts of detail and some great paint applications, but we've got some speckle. Dorsal plate speckle. Taking a closer look at the dorsal plates, they look great. They are painted fantastically, but it's just the speckle on these things. I don't know if somebody had like a goopy brush and it just dripped down and they didn't give a crap, or if it just got scratched in the box. I really don't know, but the speckles are small, but I'll always notice them, you know what I mean? On the other side though, things do look a lot better, but then as you start looking down a little bit more, you can see there's still more friggin' speckle. Ugh. And looking at Shin-Godzilla crouched over, we can see that there's definitely some scuffage going on, but the detail looks nice, especially on that gigantic gap right there. I honestly don't have a problem with the gap. I mean, it was to be expected, you know? But there's still some dorsal plate speckle, still kind of prominent up here. Now on the back of Shin-Godzilla's head, we can see, holy crap, it is a lasagna disaster up here. That just looks painful. The detail is fantastic, and I just love the paint apps. Oh my god, it looks painful, it is gruesome, it is fantastic. Now that's gruesome! Moving down this spaghetti cheese string horror show, we've got more great detail, more great paint applications on the back. He looks fantastic. But if you look at this shot closely, you can see more dorsal plate speckle. It's a mixed bag, man, because you're looking at the back and the back looks great, and then you just see all these red speckles that really shouldn't be there. Ugh, mixed bag. Okay, and looking at Shin-Godzilla crouched over yet again. Look at that detail, that lasagna massacre of a back that he has. It looks great. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. Moving lower down Shin-Godzilla's back, we still have some really great detail. You can still see a whole bunch of speckle on the dorsal plates and such. The color is fading off into much more of an orangey and less of a red. And, you know, it looks good. I like it. Now, before I move over to the tail, I don't know if anybody noticed, but by looking at these two shots here, you can see that some of the dorsal plates have a bit of a curve to them. That's new to me. I've never heard of an SH MonsterArts figure having curved dorsal plates, but mine are, so I don't know if I should be honored over that or just kinda pissed. Looking at the lower side of Shin-Godzilla's back, we see more dorsal plate speckle and some chipped paint towards the base of the tail. Yada me, yada da. Looking at the other side, the dorsal plates fared a little bit better, but you can see, yeah, definitely some missed spots right there. Okay, now moving into the tail, as you can see, that light orange starts to carry over to the tail very, very nicely, but yes, there's a but. That orange does not continue. This, oh my god. It's like they were playing musical chairs with paint on Shin-Godzilla's tail. It goes from that orange to a dark red to a somewhat darker orange to another orange to a completely darker red. I mean, look at this shot. Okay, so we got dark orange, light orange, little orange, dark red, somewhat reddish orange. What the heck? Moving up the tail, we can see that he's got his little spikes here, which are also kind of spotty with some red paint there. The orange is kind of fading off into this very smoky, wet scab looking color. Oh, look, and there's some more paint chip right there. Over here, you can see a little bit more of that paint chipping, but the detail looks good. Right? Yeah. Continuing up the tail, the musical chairs of color just continues because it goes from a dark, faded, wet scab looking color back to a bright orange. And what the heck is that? That's supposed to be there? Is that excess plastic? I don't know, but it looks weird. And on the opposite side, paint chipping, paint dribble, whatever the heck that is. More paint chipping. I mean, look at this. It goes from that faded, awesome color to this bright orange back to this faded red color. What were they thinking? And then we are brought to the tip of the tail, the rotted out hot dog Siamese twin of Shin-Godzilla himself. And we have some fantastic paint and detail going on over here. Look at it. It's fantastic. Oh. I mean, you can even see the little eye, you can see the little teeth, and it's just so fleshy and disgusting. Oh, man. It doesn't make up for all the mess-ups on the tail, but it's pretty awesome. And looking on the other side, we got more fantastic detail and colors. I mean, just looking at this thing, it looks painful. It looks disgusting. It looks like the tail is trying to heal almost, and it's just failing miserably. Oh, I love it. And here's the top of the tip of the tail. Yet again, ouchies. Great detail, great paint. Now we're looking at the underside of the tail right here. Some more paint chippage and such, and, you know, looks fairly normal. And then, you know, as we get to the base of the tail, it looks like the tail had a very base coat of orange, and that they just kinda didn't fully paint over. And then if you look at this part over here, there's red, there's orange, there's within the grooves and everything. Why wasn't that more present on the rest of the tail? Look at that, it's like clearly there. And look, more paint dribble. Oh Jesus, tap dancing mother of Monkeyzilla. Okay, that's enough of the tail. Let's get to the main course. Bada. Oh God, yeah. Oh. All right, so here's Shin-Godzilla's head. I mean, I think he looks better than the original, but he's not without his problems. I mean, I can't tell if this over here is paint scuffage or if it was something that was made intentional. Same goes for the gum. Well, you know what? Those are the gums over there, so yeah, I'll let that slide. The teeth, they're definitely painted this time around. That's some good news right there. Nice paint on the membrane, nice white eye, beady black pupil. This side of Shin-Godzill's head looks great. And on the other side, we do have a little bit of seamage going on his lower jaw. Some of the teeth on this side do look a little bit more goopy and messy, but at the same time, we have some really great detail on the throat and on the top of his head, near his nose. Again, this is probably the most mixed bag feeling I've ever had towards a figure. Okay, now opening up the big guy's mouth, we are just welcomed by a plethora of detail. The membrane on the side of the mouth looks fantastic. Even on the other side over here, fantastic paint, fantastic detail. It's all phantasmic. Look at that detail, that gloss. Oh, it's another cheesy lasagna masterpiece slash massacre. Oh, I mean, for every flaw that I pointed out with this figure, I just feel like the mouth and head region just somewhat make up for it. I mean, yeah, the teeth could have been painted better, but the membrane, it just looks so good. Taking a look at the inside of the lower jaw, oh my God, this is just, I mean, do I even need to say it? Look at all that detail. Look at all those great paint applications. Where was this with the rest of the figure? I don't get it. Looking at the throat and the upper roof of his mouth, yet again, great detail, great paint. We got some black up there, really shading everything out. Yeah, this back of the throat thing, looking kind of, you know. All right, now the last thing I will talk about, since this was such a problem with the original, the eyes are somewhat centered, but one side looks more like he has direction to his sight, and the other side kind of just looks like he's looking straight ahead. I don't understand what the point of this is, and don't give me that posing bullshit. It shouldn't look like this. The eyes should be looking straight forward or straight down, something like that. They should not have two different directions on different sides of the figure. It's either keep them both in the same direction or just don't paint the eyes at all. The wonkiness isn't too bad. It really isn't, but it's obvious. It's very obvious. All right, let's get into articulation. Oh, God, am I done yet? Jeez. Apologies for going a little overboard with the paint and detail section. I'm really just trying to warn people that the reissue's paint job really isn't any better from the original. Sure, it does a few things better and different, but overall, not all. And I still hate the fact that this guy is glossy. But more about that at the end of the video. Let's get into articulation. So when opening Shin-Goji's mouth, you start at the top, go at the bottom, and you can get a nice little roaring pose going on here. Now, since the top of Shin-Goji's head and his bottom jaw are on ball joints, he can get a little wonky. Thanks to the two membrane pieces over here, the crooked jawness can't get too bad. I mean, essentially, you do have to straighten him out before you close his mouth up and such. And yes, he still does suffer from some overbite. Not too bad, but still pretty visible. All right, so there's no articulation in the head aside from opening his mouth up, but the neck has a nice bend right here. This part can't really turn too much. Most of the turning will be attributed to this part of the neck right here. You can look down like that, so you can get him in that nice atomic breath pose. And he can look both ways. Boy, he sounds stiff, doesn't he? So before I continue on, I soaked this guy for a good 20, maybe 25 minutes, and he still creaks. I honestly don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't want to soak him for too long because I don't want him to get all loosey-goosey. He still sounds like he's fresh out of the box. Back on task here, Shin-Goji can bend down pretty far. Do you hear how stiff that is?
Jeez. So you can bend down about that far. You can get a little bit of bend from this section right here, but it's not going to be too much. It's very, very minimal, but it's still there. Okay, so moving on to the arms, they can go up about that far. Got a nice bend at both of the forearms over here. Swivels at the shoulders up here. The hands can go up and down like so, and they're on a swivel, so you get a full range of movement from them. Pretty nice. Okay, moving on to Shin-Goji's legs. He can kick up about that far. This piece of plastic is really hindering the leg from going up any higher, but why would you need to? You kick up that far at the knee, and then go down that far at the knee. Got a nice back and forward with the ankle. I'm pretty sure that this can go all the way around, but as you can hear, he is really stiff. Same range of movement for this leg, although I think this ankle is much, much tighter. Now, thankfully, when it comes to gaps, the only gap you're really going to get is over here by the thighs and a little bit over here. His arm section is pretty gapless. I mean, you can see a little bit right there, but I guess that's just if you're really looking for it. Otherwise, I mean, everything seems pretty solid. So that's one positive thing I can say. Alright, so getting into the tail, as per SH MonsterArts norm, we have a wide range of movement with the tail. You can get a lot of great poses out of it. But here's the kicker. This tail, as you can probably tell just by listening to me move it, is extremely stiff. I took the tail off about right here. I heated them up and I took it off just so it would come out nice and easy and such. I can do the Shin-Godzilla tail test. The tail will not fall off. I don't know what SH MonsterArts did to the joints in this tail, but listen to this. This is after a couple of good minutes of soaking, too. These two pieces right here, look at this. I cannot get any movement out of either of these. And I've soaked this guy, I've used the blow dryer, and nothing's working. So if anybody can give me some tips out there, like maybe I should boil the water or something, please let me know. I have no idea what's going on with this. I soaked it, I heated them up, nothing. This thing feels like it's practically glued together. Now for the tip of the tail, it can just swivel. You can get a little bit of bend in it, not too much. This is the only part of the tail that's popped off for me before. I mean, of course, now it's not going to. It's going to make a liar out of me. Now, despite this tail being very, very stiff, oh god, that hurts my heart to hear, I can still get some good poses out of it. I'm just worried I'm going to snap something. Again, I really don't know what's going on with this tail. I don't know if the joints are supposed to be this stiff. This is my third SH MonsterArts figure, by the way. I am not very well versed in these. I don't normally buy them. I think they're overly expensive. They look good, but yeah. Anyway, if anybody can give me any tips or pointers down in the comment section below of what to do to make this guy a little bit more loose, please let me know. The hot water didn't work, and the hair dryer didn't work. He is still stupid stiff. Now, is this guy worth the price? If you missed out on the original SH MonsterArts Shin-Godzilla figure, does the reissue do the figure justice? Well, despite him being a little bit stiff, I still think the articulation is pretty good, and the detail is great. It's just the paint that I think fails this figure the most. You know, it's a shame. I love the Shin-Godzilla design so much, and when pre-orders for this guy went up online, I jumped for joy. I immediately pre-ordered one, and I was just so ready to add him to my collection. Now don't get me wrong, I'm happy to have this guy in my collection. I really am. It's just for the price that was paid for this guy, it's definitely very lackluster. As you saw with the paint, there is a lot of defects, there's a lot of very odd choices, there's a lot of parts that went unpainted, speckle and all, the scratching, the stiffness. I'm still not a big fan of the gloss. I do wish the black and the red were handled a lot better, and just overall, I mean, just be careful. I mean, well, I really do, and all in good conscience, I really cannot recommend this figure to anybody. If you find him for a good price and you really want him and you don't care that the paint isn't that great, then I guess go for it. If you're looking for a highly detailed Shin-Godzilla figure, I suggest just getting an X+. But if you're looking for a highly detailed and highly articulate Shin-Godzilla figure, you might be better off with NECA. I mean, NECA's Shin-Godzilla figure might not be screen accurate and it might not be the best, but oh man, at least you're not spending $150 on it. Yeah, it breaks my heart to really give this guy a negative review, but I gotta be truthful. I don't want to be responsible for somebody buying this figure and being extremely upset with it. I guess we'll end this off with a size comparison.
Here is our SH MonsterArts Shin-Goji next to our final Climax Bandai Movie Monster Shin-Goji and the King Series Goji. He's a little bit taller than the Climax Shin-Goji, but he goes up to King Series Goji's shoulders. And here is the SH MonsterArts Shin-Goji next to the NECA Shin-Goji, obviously much taller. I know I might get a little bit of flack for this, but when it comes to the paint, I just think NECA just did a better job. They managed to get all the grooves in there, have a decent balance of the black and red. I mean, I might have just gotten lucky with mine, but if you're looking for a very well articulated Shin Gojira figure and you don't want to spend too much money, just go NECA. And here's the SHMA Shin-Goji next to the X Plus Shin-Goji, the original, the 25 centimeter, I believe. And he's about at elbow's length when it comes to the X Plus. Again, if you're looking for a highly detailed version of Shin Gojira and you really don't care about articulation, I seriously suggest the X Plus. And just for fun, here is SHMA Goji next to the illegal Repton Thundertail prototype Zilla figure from Trendmasters. Now that's a weird sight, isn't it?
Hey, what's going on there, everybody? Right before I end this video off, this is my 5th SH MonsterArts figure, not my 3rd. I completely forgot about my 2014 SH MonsterArt figures, and I just wanted to report that I've soaked this guy in some pretty hot water for an hour, and the tail did get a little bit better. It doesn't creak as much. And you just made a liar out of me. Great. I just wanted to apologize before this video ended. I'm not very well versed in the SH MonsterArts realm. Even though this is my 5th one, I've never had as much trouble with an SHMA figure that I did with this one. So I'm sorry if I got a couple of things wrong and I really don't know how to handle this. But yeah, if you have any tips for me to loosen this guy up any further, please let me know in the comment section below. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Despite me having a hard time with this guy, I think I want to get more SH MonsterArts figures. And just so you know, I have the original Millennium, Godzilla 2000 SH MonsterArts, the Godzilla Rebirth, Godzilla 2014, both regular and Spitfire, and now this guy. So if there's any SH MonsterArts figures out there that you think I should pick up, please let me know. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna put Sir Creaks-a-Lot back on the shelf. Bye, everybody.